Welcome back to the Midday Reset. My name is Antoinette, and thanks for taking a break with me today. Everyday life can get stressful as we move through responsibilities and commitments, and it's nice to take a break or two. This Midday Reset is meant to serve as a mini mental vacation for your brain as you deal with it all. Let's start by clearing our space with a nice deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. Once more, in and out. Today, I want to talk to you about time management. It's a struggle for everyone. We are all given the same 24 hours in a day, and we can often feel we aren't managing our time well when we aren't accomplishing all that we'd like to. I go to bed every night thinking of things that I didn't get to in the day. I used to beat myself up about that, but now I embrace it as a gift. I'm thankful to be motivated by my circumstances. It takes ambition to even recognize when things need to be done, so I give myself credit for that, and so should you. So, no biggie about not getting things done, as the sun will again rise and we can try it all again. But as we try, it's a good idea to use some strategy. Use tools for managing your time such as calendars, planners, reminder functions on your devices, alarms to help you start and stop activities in a timely fashion, and so forth. Wear a watch. Honor your wishes with regard to time. If you want to go to bed early, shut down and honor your bedtime that day. None of us is meant to function as a machine. And on the flip side, do not binge on television or social media use if it's wasting your time. Now, I reward myself with television, but that's not to say that I have an excuse to watch Netflix all day on Sunday. I mean, I love Netflix and I love lying in bed watching it without interruption, especially if there's food involved, but it's not conducive to my lifestyle to spend my time this way. My husband and my kids need attention. My home needs looking after. I need looking after. I can't waste time like that, at least not realistically or often. So I try not to. Be realistic about time and its constraints. Sometimes there just isn't enough time to get to something. Sometimes the time allotted to the task is exceptionally demanding, and it's okay to speak up in those circumstances. We are all humans, subject to human-like mannerisms, especially when placed under pressure. Tough deadlines can stress us out and hurt our physical, mental, and spiritual health. Schedule leisure. The same way you can put your kids' doctor's appointments on your calendar and set reminders for canceling that free trial before your card gets billed, so too can you schedule a relaxing massage, a game of golf, a meetup with a friend, or just some you time. And these things are just as important as the other stuff. Self-care is what keeps us going, so look after yourself by scheduling breaks, even if you think at the time that you won't need them. Your future self will be happy you did. Treat your time as if it were gold, diamonds, rubies, or emeralds. It's precious. Don't allow other people to control or waste your time. And this can be difficult when we are in situations where we are dependent on others for things. If you are dependent on a roommate to be your ride to and from work, you open yourself to the flexibility of your roommate's schedule. If they aren't punctual, chances are you won't be either. If time is not important to your roommate, then you risk losing a lot of yours as you continue to depend on them. That's just one example. Respecting your own time will show others they need to respect it as well. When at a meal or drinks with friends or family, I try to demonstrate that I am present and that their time is valuable to me by silencing and stowing my phone away. Similarly, my friends and family aren't tapping away on their phone screens when we're supposed to be spending time together. Some people like to keep a firm grasp on punctuality so as not to waste others' time. And that's a matter of habit, but habits can be modified when we choose to. One last point I want to make about time management is that a lot of your mastery of time management will be in how you choose to view time. I came across an interesting paper that was published by UCLA Anderson, published by 3 students, Cassie Mogilner-Holmes, Hal Hirschfield, and Jennifer Aker. Each of them devoted to the study of time, happiness, and well-being, and they published a 2017 research review in Consumer Psychology Review. They write, despite the central roles time management and our sense of time can play in our happiness, it's often a fraught relationship. A decision to do X today can set off pangs of guilt for not doing Y and Z. Or what we choose to do today, such as buy the sports car, becomes a tug of war with our future self who might suggest saving more in the 401k instead. Research published in 2016 by Hirschfield and Mogilner-Holmes and Yuri Barnea of the University of Pennsylvania found that we also struggle to properly value time as a driver of happiness. With an elevated view, your choices may be more aligned with what works for you in the big picture. Saying no, or saying no right now to overscheduling yourself today or this week becomes easier when you are no longer stuck down in the weeds of seeing only today and this week. The elevated perspective might also shift the constant challenge of whether to do something to an easier choice of when to do something. The authors turn to the classic health-conscious dilemma of staring down a tempting piece of cake. At the ground view level, the decision is an in-the-moment choice between the indulgent yes and the harder trade-off of saying no. Move up to the elevated view of time, and the decision might shift to when to eat the piece of cake, not whether or not you should. Maybe not today, but maybe on the weekend at the wedding or on your designated cheat day. This elevated perspective involves optimizing one's weeks rather than any given moment, the authors write. So, if we adopt the perspective proposed by these authors, then life really isn't about black or white yes-no decisions that we make in real time that can be influenced by the past or the future, but instead about timing all of these decisions out strategically, looking at the timeline of our lives as a whole. As I've grown older, I've learned that there can be magic in timing, so I'm apt to believe that they might be onto something. You let me know what you think by emailing me at themdrpodcast@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for taking a break with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to share and subscribe. If you'd like to support the Midday Reset podcast, please become a patron on Patreon at patreon.com/MDR. That's patreon.com/MDR. Take care, my friends, and I will see you next time.